This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss about synthetic monitoring, which is here you can see, and
Hello, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So, what topic you are covering, Rajesh? Sorry, I joined in between. I disconnected.
No problem. Just we are starting actually.
Okay. So, what topic was covered? Actually, I'm not getting the videos. Actually, I'm not
Yeah,
having the
so I'll send
status.
you all
What
the
is
video.
completed and what is pending?
Yeah, so today after this session, I'll send you all the video in one go. Okay.
Okay. And also the notes you are writing down in the notepad, right? I think at least if you share that, we will
I'll
get
I'll
some
share.
idea what is covered and what is pending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about synthetic monitoring and RUM monitoring. So these are the two monitoring which we have. So this is basically synthetic monitoring we do for endpoint monitoring, means some endpoint which we have, which you want to monitor 24/7 by machines. Then we use the synthetic monitoring, and RUM monitoring, which we use for real user monitoring. Real user monitoring the traffic may vary, depends on the timing and the number of requests, so that we want to monitor that one. So you want to see the experience, you want to measure the experience, how this real user is getting into the system and how much time it's taking and all stuff like that. That is through the RUM monitoring. So these are the two monitoring which we have. So now let's try to understand what is between the synthetic monitoring and RUM monitoring. So synthetic monitoring, typically we emulate or script, we generate through the scripting actually. So one of the synthetic monitoring you can use, for example, JMeter. Okay, so JMeter, it can be used for creating a fake traffic, which can be a synthetic monitoring. So in case of Datadog, Datadog have their multiple servers located around the globe. Okay, so if you give the input means URL endpoint. If you give them an endpoint means URL, so that on that endpoints, those servers will hit that, and whatever the response you get it, they will store it and I'll share with you. So that is a synthetic monitoring. Real user monitoring, basically what happens, this is usually happen with the browser. So you embed some JavaScript code in your front end applications, web-based application, front end application, and those who are the real user browse using their browsers like a Chrome, Firefox, or IE and all. So that experience between their browser and the front end is captured in the RUM. Again, experience between the browser of the end user, real user, and then front end applications is being captured in the RUM, real user monitoring. That is a real user monitoring. So there are some of the pros and cons for synthetic monitoring. For example, synthetic monitoring you can use for testing a new feature before deploying. Synthetic monitoring you can use for ensure application is up and running 24/7 to detect the outage. Synthetic monitoring you can use for the testing a new market, new geography, new areas and all. You can also use monitor web and third-party APIs for that synthetic monitoring. Whereas if you really want to know that determine the impact of a slowdown or a failure on all users, real monitoring will be helpful for you. Resolving support issues, synthetic monitoring will help you. Determine the root cause of issue in the application, only the real user monitoring will tell you. Monitor all the traffic on real basis. If you want to do, real monitoring will help you. To match the SLA, both are okay. Transaction performance, both are okay. For API performance, if you want, synthetic monitoring will help you. So this is that some of the difference which we have between the synthetic monitoring and real monitoring. So now let's get started with the synthetic monitoring. So synthetic monitor your system from a location around the world. That means in a Datadog you have multiple locations available around the globe. So I just said, right, you just have to give the endpoint, and Datadog will hit on that URL from the different endpoint and create a synthetic monitoring. Record end-to-end tests in a second. That is a thing. Seamless integration with our APM product. Save time by using API to create edit test. So this is something which we have. Now these are the options available for the synthetic monitoring. New API test, which will help you to monitor uptime and availability. So you can also do the multi-steps API test also. So you can use a multiple API URL in one test itself. New browser test, which basically to monitor the key business flows. So that is being used. So how do you get started? So step number one, you have to choose the request type. Request type means it can be HTTP, HTTPS, TCP, UDP, that kind of request you have to specify. You define the request in this phase 2. Then define the assertion. Assertion means how, let's say there's a one endpoint we requested, and that need to be verified whether that endpoint response code had certain values or not, so that you can identify using assertions. And you can design the test frequency, some alert condition, and notify your team. So these are the ways you can create. So these are the request type. That means protocol is allowed: HTTP, SSL, TCP, DNS, and all stuff like that. And define a request. You can get request, post request, patch, put, delete, head, and all. Downside, you have to select the which location that request should be there. So these are the listed requests which is available for the Datadog. Now assertions, you can define like whether your body or header or response time or response code should be this or that, something like that you can specify. And frequency, minute, 5 m, 15 m, or whatever it is. And condition, define alert conditions here when you should get an alert and notifying a team. That's all. So this is a synthetic monitoring. So let me show you the demo for this. So let's go to this Datadog, and here you click on the synthetic monitoring, synthetic test. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new test. Here you specify create a new test. And here you have to specify whether HTTPS, SSL, DNS, WebSocket, TCP, UDP, ICMP, GPRS, and all. And here you have to define the URL. So one of the URL which I'm using for this test endpoint is my website, rajeshkumar.xyz. So this is the one. Now if you have some advanced options to feed, then you can put it up here: request option, authentication option for this URL, query parameter, or request body. If you want to pass something, you can provide it. Right now it's not required, so done. Now here you can set the environment, whether this particular services which you have which environment you wanted to do that, and all. Some additional tag you can do that. Test URL, in fact you can do that and see if this URL is accessible for the assertions or not. So here it's done. Now this is the step number 1, and step number 2 is okay. Now here you specify assertion. Assertion means something which you want to validate. So the response code, if it is 200, that's good, or some header should have this one, or some response time should be lesser than this, okay, or something like that. So I have decided, like, I will go for the body part. So body part, this text should be there. Response body part, this text should be there, and the text is over 15 years of extensive experience. So if this is coming as part of the request body, that means it's passed. So how do I do that? So I'll delete this one, and you can keep it all of this also. New assertions. What is the type? So here body, response time, status code, what body. So body is, or body is not, body contains, all this thing you can do that. So contain what? This one. Okay, so this is one condition I added, customize this, and now you decide from where this traffic should go. So these are the traffic locations. You can, in fact, you know what, you can create a private locations also, but these are the locations sufficient for the synthetic monitoring. You can, you know, disable, enable some of these areas from where you don't want the traffic to be generated, and so you can add a private location also, but not really, because most of the locations you have it. After that, here you have to decide the frequency, 1 minute per second, 50 seconds per second, or 5 minutes per second. And after that, alert conditions. So if you see the alert conditions here, you have retry test 0 times after 300 millisecond in case of failure, and if it is this matching, then alerts will be created. Now here, configure the monitor for this test. That means if you generate alerts, then you want to send an email, right, with certain names. So what is this? So you can say like this monitor name, Rajesh Kumar .xyz is down. So this is the stuff. You can notify someone. Right now I'm the only one in this team, and you can decide everything. What is the description and stuff like that. In fact, you can design this content using variables also. Here you have a list of variables which you can use it and create it. So this is the one of the synthetic monitoring I created. It will take 2 to 3 minutes to get you the data, and then after that you can analyze it here in the synthetic monitoring. Did you understand, all of you? All of you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now how
One
do
thing,
we?
how the leaking went to monitoring, Rajesh? Because
What is
I mean
that?
alerting, how the linkage went to alerting? Alerting is a different GUI, right?
Alerting is the different thing, which is a monitoring. But let's say if that assertion, do you remember that you add assertion? So if assertion is failed, you need to notify. You want to notify, right? So you can set up alert here also. Okay, so it will take 2 to 3 minutes to do the validation and filling all the data. So meanwhile, what I will do, I'll give you the demo of UX monitoring. How do you set it up? So here you have a UX monitoring, which is a RUM, real user monitoring. So click on it here. Now if I see that here I have one application already added. So what I will do, I will delete these applications, edit, and somewhere deleting these applications. So now you see that there is no applications here. So now let's get started. One new applications. So new application, I just said, right, as part of the RUM, you will get one JavaScript code, and that you have to embed in your front end on Android or iOS or React Native or Flutter or whatever it is. Okay, so this is something which you can do that. So now how to do that? So here you see that set your application details. So what is the application? So my application name is Rajesh Kumar.xyz, and here create a new RUM applications. Click on it. Now here you got a JavaScript. This is script for npm. This is for the CDN async. This is for the CDN sync. Okay, so you can feed that what is the service. So service is Rajesh Kumar.xyz. DDs and sorry environment, sorry, dev or prod, and here this is a service. All this thing you can feed that, and this script will be generated. Now what you have to do, you have to copy this code and you have to go to your application front end and add it. So some live application you should be running for doing that. So this is the Rajesh Kumar.xyz's website. I'm going to do what, this is the commits which I'm going, and here in this front end I'm going to add this. So here public HTML. So on their website, end of this add this JavaScript. If you want to monitor multiple pages, you have to add in each of this. So this code I'm adding in this here, save it. Now any real user who will visit my website, okay, so now you will generate this some traffic reports here, real user monitoring, and you can see that. So right now there's no user, so I'll generate some of the fake traffic. So this is the one I generated 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 times. Now I should, within a few minutes, I should see some of the information here. But if you generate at least for a 12 hours or 24 hours, it will be meaningful. Now let me go back to the UX synthetic monitoring and see that some data is coming or not. See, the data is coming now. So here from the which region the performance is good, you can see that which region is worse and all this thing, response time. So if you reduce that from 1 hour to 15 minutes, I think your all graph will see something better. So see that Cape Town, the response time is 2.4 second, and Hong Kong is 1.9 second. Sydney, I think 1.52 seconds, and like that. So here you see the response time by location, response time, network timing, and each of the requests from each location, the timing and all, and what is the past, failed, all the status and all. Understood synthetic monitoring, all of you?
Yeah, clear, Rajesh.
Now what you can do, you can change the assertion. So I'll go to edit button, edit these test cases, and I with intention I'll modify assertion. The assertion, instead of 15 years which is the real, I'll have a 16 years. That means I'm expecting 16 years, and I will save this, and let's wait for few minutes, and it should fail that, it should create an alert. Same thing you can do. Now go back to the RUM application and see some traffic has come or not. And if you look at this little carefully from last 5 minutes, you see that some traffic has come. So overall, how many traffic you got? 36 sessions I got it on my website from last 5 minutes. So here you can count actually. So this is the real user monitoring, user session 36, loading time, and dab. So this you have to study. This is the RUM information. Again, if you collect for let's say 24 hours or something, you will see the better graph here. Are you understanding?
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go back to the synthetic now and see the failure is there or not, and see the still the okay, but it started failing actually. Started failing from the some of the region. I saw the red very little bar actually. So here right now this is test is okay, but it should fail in few seconds. See, few location is started failing actually. So now you see that which location, see here, now it's got failed. So I think bar will be modifying accordingly, and you see that within a few seconds everywhere is a failed, because the test, see that that website is reachable, response is coming, many tests are passing, but one of the tests is failing, and that is what is saying the fail. So now here you see the fail all this thing. So your overall test is failed right now. Understood all of you? Understood all of you?
Yes.
So at least one should be success, no? Not even a one is success here.
No, my condition itself is allow failure. No, the I said three condition will be passed, but
Okay,
overall it's
okay. Can
failing.
you
Na?
see the conditions once?
Overall is failing. Got it?
Okay, okay. Can you show the conditions once?
Let me see that. Here you have 4 assertions has been configured here. Now status for it is just a second. Event. I think assertions bias. You don't have that one actually, but this is the here. So each failure wise the condition is not displayed here. Got it?
Okay, okay. But all conditions are succeeded, right? The Rajesh, the text you said, the text is having, and the error code is also 200, and the other one also conditions are passing, right? Why it is showing failing?
No, one condition is failing. No, let me show you here. Just
Okay.
here failed condition. If I go click on this failed, and if you see here failure may if you go to failure, this is actual value is passed, but one of the condition is failing here.
Okay. You have that text in the website, right? That should pass actually.
No, 15 is there. No.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay,
I modify the later point of the time. No.
okay, okay. Yeah, clear.
So now this is the synthetic fail. Now go back to the RUM and see that some more graphs, and from last 5 minutes here it is. Okay, so guys, this is a synthetic and this is RUM. Now next topic which I'm going to cover, that is called alerting, which we call it a monitoring. Okay, so that we'll do in the next session, and after the monitoring we'll have a dashboarding, which is here. Okay, so we'll meet up in the next session, which is tomorrow, and then we'll continue the monitoring. Will that be okay?
Okay. When is the alerting session, Rajesh?
What is that?
Alerts, Datadog
Tomorrow,
alerts.
tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
And
Alerts and
how about
dashboard.
UX monitoring?
Which
That
one?
RUM you showed to write scripts, right?
What is that?
Scripts. You said that you can write scripts to monitor.
Ramya, I'm not able to hear you actually.
You can write scripts to monitor, right?
Write script to monitor.
Yeah.
I did not understand. You need an integration to be written. That is in
Okay.
YAML file. So
Okay.
the integrations, the one anyways we were creating that was a template copy paste mostly. So there's no scripting as such here. You need it actually.
No, in UX monitoring.
Which one?
Can you go to the UX monitoring?
UX monitoring here.
Yeah.
Where?
I thought you can write Selenium scripts.
No, Selenium scripts you can call it. You cannot write it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
see, let's say if you have a Selenium script, no. So while calling the browser, you can call the Selenium script. So
Okay.
Datadog will not. You can integrate with that Selenium script for the RUM monitoring. That you
Okay.
can do that.
Okay.
But from that full Datadog will not help. You have to write a separate Selenium script. For example, let me show you a few Selenium script. Just a second, hold on. So you can trigger it using Datadog JavaScript or some integrations and all stuff like that.
Okay.
So you
Okay.
can do that actually. So you have to write, let's say if you're writing a Selenium script in Java, so like let's say if you have to write like that code, and this is not related to this one Datadog. So this is a JavaScript Java code we have written, and which will
Right.
hit this one, and it will validate whether that this website is available or not. So it's like that.
Right. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay guys, see you tomorrow for the monitoring. Bye everyone.
Bye.